everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tania and today's video is my Q&A video, so answering your questions. If you're interested in hearing an answer to your question, please stick around, and even if you didn't ask me a question, stick around anyway. Why not? We're all friends here, why not? Okay, so you may have noticed that my hair is looking just a little bit different, just a little bit, and I went with that nice sunset effect. So I've got just a sort of a natural brown through the top part, my roots, and then we have that cherry red, and then we have that copper. I am loving interesting hair color, and if you've been with me for some time, you may remember that around about mid-year last year, it was actually, yeah, mid-year because it was around my birthday, I went hot magenta pink. Oh my god, it was an amazing color, amazing. And then we had lockdown, so I couldn't go to get it topped up, so I was just adding more pink and purple myself to it. So I sort of like went through a stage where I had a lot of pink and purple, and I still love that color. But anyway, now I've got the sunset happening, and I quite like that too. So let me know what you think. Anyway, so this is a Q&A video, not let's talk about my fabulous hair video. So I received quite a few questions, so thank you to all of you who did in fact submit a question. If I happen to have missed it in any way, please forgive me, let me know, and I'll answer it in the comments. So first question comes from Susan Clark. What is your favorite bag and SLG in your collection? After a little bit of thinking, I've decided that this is my favorite bag. And the reason I like this bag is because it has structure, but it's also very supple and soft at the same time. I love Balenciaga. I actually wish I had more Balenciaga. I love this leather. It's got that beautiful crinkly, papery feel to it. And this is a great bag because although it's a mini, ironically, it doesn't look like a mini now compared to other bags, does it? Although it's a mini, it actually holds a favorite SLGs. While I reach behind me, I couldn't decide between two pieces, and the first one is this little darling here. So this is my Louis Vuitton Emprunt Clay. I bought this back in 2018, and I have used this essentially non-stop, almost non-stop, but I love this piece. This is Emprunt. This is the Marine Rouge, which is that navy with the red glazing, and praise God, my glazing, aside from this little squiggle, is actually in excellent condition. There's no, you know, touch wood, there's no peeling and so on. The button does show some wear, like the gold is wearing off, but that's very intrinsic for Louis Vuitton, isn't it? Anyway, so that's that piece. I just love it. I just love it. It still smells Luxe. It's just beautiful. And the other SLG, so I just couldn't choose between those two, is the mini pochette. Yes, I've got two here, but that's because I bought myself an extra one. I originally bought myself this back in 2015 for Mother's Day. I bought it for myself because no one else was going to. And then I bought this at the end of 2020 before that major price hike. Actually, it was 2 price increases ago. Isn't that interesting how we determine when we purchase things? Via price increases. And the thing I love the most about this is that sound. There's nothing like the sound of Louis Vuitton chain on canvas. It's major sexy ASMR, don't you think? Oh God, I hope no students saw that. Anyway, Susan's second question is from Amelia Rose's Closet, and she asks, do you need the patience of a saint to be a teacher? Short answer, yes. Longer answer, yes and no. It depends on what year levels you teach. I teach predominantly in secondary, so I have some juniors, we call them the year 7, and then so I teach 7 and 8, and then I also teach the 2 upper senior year levels. And you need different patience for different year levels. I admire primary school teachers and kindergarten teachers and childcare providers because there's no chance in hell I could do that. I just don't have that patience. Don't have it. I'd rather deal with cranky, smelly, hormonal year 9 boys on a Friday afternoon, and year 10 and 11 and 12, they're all the same anyway, rather than little children. So do you need that patience of a saint? Yes, you do. But also, patience is a learned skill. It's something that you acquire slowly over time. And I learned to become very, very patient when I started working, and then also through certain relationship I had. And it's amazing. It's amazing how you learn to be patient and how you cope with training yourself to be patient. leave it at that. Okay, next question. So thanks. The question is from Shani Cole, Handbags and Happiness. Thank you. The question is, do you plan to buy another Chanel bag? Yes. And I may or may not have already. Oopsie poopsie. Yes, yes. Short answer, yes. And next short answer, I have. I'll be sharing that with you soon. Thank you for that question. Question from Mimi Chateau Chic. Hi, Mimi. For 2022, what are your top 2 Luxe items or experiences that you would like? Okay, top 2 Luxe items. Now, I thought about this and definitely comes down to one category being jewelry and another category being luxury handbags. The first one is 2 rings. The first one of that first category is the Trinity ring from Cartier, and the reason I want to buy that is because you may remember that when I shared the story with you of my Louis Vuitton Montaigne bag, I mentioned that I was left some money by my grandmother when she passed away. Well, through my mum's inheritance, a little something from my grandmother's inheritance. And so I've never spent all of that money. I put some towards my bag and the rest I've always kept away. And that's been years now. I think I bought that bag in 2015. So it's been a long time, and my grandmother had passed prior to that. Anyway, so I always said to myself that I was going to buy a significant piece of jewelry, because although these pieces are beautiful, they show wear and tear. Jewelry does too, but jewelry is longer lasting. I feel like it's more everlasting. And the ring I'd like is the Trinity ring. The reason for that is because I have 3 children. And when I purchase this ring, I intend to have my name and their name engraved on each band. Or maybe their name can be engraved later, I don't know. But I intend to have my name engraved on each one, because then when God calls me one day, I want each of my kids to have one of those bands. And they will, I'm tearing up, they will each have a piece of me, you know, and many other pieces of me too, in that way. And I feel like that jewelry will have a story behind it, because, oh my God, real life, yeah? Hashtag keep it real. And the reason for that is because that jewelry will have a story behind it, because I used to go to my grandmother's house every week and I used to clean for her, because she was always very much, very reluctant and hesitant to have an outsider come into the house and clean for her. So I did it. And this is something that would have come from me being with my grandmother at the time. We were very close, and then of course we got closer, and passing that on to my kids. Let me compose myself now. Okay, let me put some nice transition in. All right, now the second piece within that first category, which is jewelry, is a ring that I would like to buy myself for my 50th. I will be turning the big 50 in 2022. So, and my kids and the kids at school like to remind me all the time, you know, well, sometimes, you're going to be half a century. I know, but still, I'm here, praise God. Let's hope I get to July, yeah? And so the ring I'd like to buy is the Cubism ring from Canturi. Now, that Stefano Canturi is an Australian jeweler, and he's based in Sydney, although he does have a jewelry shop here in Melbourne. I wanted this ring for my 40th. 9 years ago, but at the time I was married, and my husband at the time, he balked at the price, and I understand, I don't blame him. It was $11,000 at the time, but that was having diamonds going all the way around the ring. The ring is a nice wide band, and it's got like little cubes, if you like, or squares where there are diamonds and where there is plain gold. Had I gone for the full diamond all the way around, it would have cost 11, or half diamond, which is what I suggested, would have been less, but even then that was too much. And anyway, that 40th was a disappointing birthday, and although I did eventually have a ring, many months later he did concede and buy me a ring, or we bought the ring. It sort of wasn't really what I loved and wanted, and it sort of left a little sour taste in my mouth. So what I'd like to do for my 50th is buy myself that ring. Of course, it will be extremely expensive now because it will be 10 years later. So that's the first category. The second category would be to hopefully purchase myself another Chanel piece, but I really have my heart set on a reissue in chevron in a color. I don't know what color, and if I don't find a color that I love, I'm happy to settle for black. I love chevron in Chanel pieces and YSL pieces. I just love chevron overall. I prefer that to the diamond quilting. I feel it looks more timeless and elegant, and that's just what I'd like to buy. And I don't mind if it's pre-loved or if it's new, but realistically it will be pre-loved, because brand new, no. If I buy the Canturi, I'm not going to be able to buy a new Chanel. So that's that, Mimi. That was a very long-winded response to your question, well, the first part of your question about that. In terms of the experience, what I'd like to do is travel a little bit more. Now, although that's not necessarily luxe by definition, for me, and this is where things become very personal and relative, it's very luxe because I've never traveled. I've never been anywhere. I was hoping to go to Sydney these recent school holidays over Christmas, summer break, but because of the Omicron crap that happened, I just thought, no, I better play it safe and stay home. So I'm hoping to do some short travel expeditions, let's say, throughout the year. So Mimi's second question, what is your number one dream jewelry piece? I've pretty much essentially covered that. Of course, I would also love a tennis bracelet. And the other jewelry piece, which one day I would like to have, is this, which is the real, this is not the real one, but I would love the real Coco Crush ring, because I love rings that are chunky. I like statement rings. I like rings that are wide. I like something with substance. I like them thick. God, I hope students didn't see that. Anyway, this is modeled on, obviously, the Chanel Coco Crush, but this is just a stainless steel piece with gold plating. And as you can see, there is no marking, nothing inside. It's not a replica. It's not a fake, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I'd like that one day too, the original. The third question is, what's your most memorable in-person shopping experience, Luxe or otherwise? Oh, look, I don't think I've really had one yet. I haven't had that full red carpet experience. I've been into Louis many times and been offered sparkling water, Chanel too. One time I went into Chanel in Melbourne and I was with my friend Amy and we were offered champagne. That was, I think, in 2019, was it? When the Métier d'Art, the Egyptian Métier d'Art collection came out. And we were offered champagne and we looked at each other and we're like, yeah, sure. Okay, so we had one. I didn't buy anything that time. But then when I did go in again another time after that and did buy something, I wasn't offered anything. So I've not had that full-blown experience. Maybe when I go to Cartier, maybe I might have it then, but we'll see. I don't know. So thanks, Mimi. Dale's Addiction. Hey, Dale. She asks, how are you finding your new Chanel? Is it still giving you all the feels? Oh, you betcha. You betcha. Let me tell you that this little piece is an absolute darling. Every time I hold it up, it's hard to see the color. There's the dark green. If I go that way, you can't see it, but that's the color. It's a dark green and it's chevron, and this is the distressed calf skin, and it is glazed. That's why it's got that shine to it, and it's got the little chain. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And I bought this from my gorgeous friend and subscriber, Krista, and she is a subscriber to many of us here in the Luxe community, and she was looking to purchase a different Chanel bag and was going to sell this, and I said, here we are. Thanks, Dale. Hey, Lisa loves bags. Lisa, my sister from Hawaii. Are the kids shy about being in your videos? Talia is still my favorite. I told her that and she just smiled. Thanks, Lisa. Samuel, not so much. I have 3 kids. Samuel's my eldest. He is 20. Well, we'll be 20 tomorrow. By the time this goes up, he'll be 20. Anyway, I can't believe it. He's not shy. He's just not been too interested. My second son, Fabian, would rather not. He's a little bit more reserved. He's a little bit more shy. He might be heard in the background or something, or maybe just in passing, but he won't actually sit down with me, for example, and be in a video. And as for my daughter, well, she's fine with it. You know, kids these days, they're so used to social media. They're so used to being all over the place in some type of electronic capacity that, or digital capacity, that it doesn't faze them too much. So short answer, not really shy, except for one of them. And how do the kids like their new house? This house, they really, really like it, and they each have their own room, and I've really created for them as much as I could a nice haven for them in their room. My son's girlfriend, she told me recently that when my son is, well, when the kids are with me, my eldest Samuel is just happy to hang here. And it's true, because I notice that he doesn't go to her house much when he's with me. She comes here more so. And I think that's beautiful. That tells me that he's really comfortable here. They come and go pretty much as they please, except my daughter. You know, they're happy, they're comfortable, they can have anything they like in the cupboards, they can turn things on, turn things off. My one rule is keep your room tidy. Just, you know, clean up after yourself, because I'm not your maid. Clean up after yourself. Thanks, Lisa. Winnie B. LV. Hey, Winnie. Hey, girl. I can't do that girl thing. I feel too old. Anyway, she said, if I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me? I know that's from a song. I can't remember it and I can't sing it, but I can just imagine her singing it. And, oh, Winnie, anytime. And you can tell me that as many times as you like, and you can hold it against me as many times as you like. Anyway, thank you, Winnie. Hey, Carol. Hey, Kaylee. Have you been enjoying your first year of Vlogmas this year? So Kaylee is new to my channel. She recently subscribed in 2021. And so I did do a few vlogs in Christmas for Vlogmas. I didn't do them daily, and I certainly didn't do them for the whole month. I know myself. I know my limitations. Also with work, I wasn't able to. So I just did them every couple of days leading up to Christmas. And I had actually vlogged, and I've done vlogging before in the past. I vlogged through Christmas 2020 into 2021. I vlogged my move, when I moved houses and after my separation. I've done other quarantine and lockdown vlogs. I think I called them vlogdown vlog or something. What else? So I'm used to, I've done trips into the city. I've done vlogs with my friend. I've done vlogs with the kids. So it wasn't my first Vlogmas, but regardless, yes, I did enjoy it. And thank you for watching. By Gwenny. Gwenny, what's your favorite Aussie Luxe brand? Now, that's hard for me because we have quite a few clothing Luxe brands. I don't own a lot from them. I tend to buy predominantly from the mid-range boutiques. So it's hard for me to pinpoint an Australian Luxe brand. And in terms of leather goods and so on, we don't actually have all that much. So aside from Oroton, which you've heard many of us Australian YouTubers talk about, many of their pieces are made in China. So that seems to reduce the luxeness of the brand, but certainly they have beautiful pieces. So we have another company called Mimco, which is also almost as old as Oroton, but they were each created in the relatively early 1900s. So they're not that old and established like some other brands overseas, and obviously the main ones. And in terms of clothing, I really, look, aside from the main ones, there's Zimmerman, but I don't buy Zimmerman. I find Zimmerman is too pretty and too girly for me. Having said that, I do have ruffles, but I'm not that type of sort of pretty, ruffly, cutesy, flouncy type of dresser, if that makes sense. Every now and then I'll wear something like that because it's so out of character for me. So I don't really have a favorite Aussie Luxe. Probably the one I like a lot in terms of jewelry would be Stefano Canturi, as I've said. There's a Charles Rose here in Melbourne who's in the city. He makes exquisite jewelry. Clothing wise, I don't know. I'm not really loyal to any one brand. I tend to think more about jewelry. There's another jewelry company that I love, which I shared a piece many months ago. They're an Australian jewelry brand called youtuberq&a. They're based in Sydney, and I have a ring of theirs, which I've shown you before, and if I find a photo, I'll show it here again. and I love their pieces, and they use a lot of natural gemstones and silver or gold. So I like their jewelry a lot. So not really, Gwenny. Sorry. Krista, are you enjoying vlogging? Yes. How about a cooking video of your family's favorite dish? Okay, I can do that. I did do a cooking video some time ago when I was living in my previous house before I moved out and separated, and that was my recipe to a lasagna I make, which my kids love. There is another recipe which technically, is not mine. It's actually my ex-mother-in-law's recipe, but my kids really do enjoy it. So maybe I can incorporate that in an upcoming vlog sometime, or maybe I'll think about something that Mum used to make on my side and we loved growing up, and I will see if I can replicate it for you. So, but it may include meat, Krista. Sorry. EMC2__. How long have you been teaching, and have you considered changing careers? Thank you for that question. So I've been teaching since I finished uni. I've been teaching since 1995. So I've been teaching for a long time, although I was also home in the middle of my career for just on 10 years to raise my kids. I had all my kids within a 4 or 5 year window, but I did stay home for a considerable amount of time afterwards because of, a variety of reasons. So cancel out the 10 years of me not physically going to work and teaching. I've been teaching a long time, so 15 years or so. And have I considered changing careers? No, I can't imagine doing anything else. I love teaching. I throw myself into it. I challenge myself with it. I challenge my kids. I'm currently working in a Catholic boys' school, and it's really hard to get the boys to engage with English because I teach English. Getting them to read within a culture that is predominantly sports-minded is really challenging and difficult. Of course, there will always be many boys within that demographic, let's say, within that culture, who do read and do actually write really well. But I can't imagine doing anything else. When I am exhausted and, I've spent numerous nights awake and after midnight doing my marking and essay, grading or whatever you call it, there are times when I think, oh my God, why am I doing this? I mean, in the end, no one's going to care. No one's going to remember. Who cares? Why am I doing this? Why? I just need to get myself a 9-to-5 job and leave my work at work, go home. I can watch TV at night and not feel guilty about the pile of marking that's sitting beside me. But I can't imagine doing anything else. I find everything else boring. So no. For your question, Kim Curated. Hey, Kim. New Year's resolution for 2022. To be more adventurous, to branch out more, to let myself grow more through trying new things. I was very sheltered growing up. I wasn't allowed to do certain things, go certain places. I just didn't have many experiences growing up. And then I went to uni, and even then, I was so conditioned to listening to my parents and obeying and not being a rebel that I actually didn't do all that much. And then I met my husband, and he was my first everything, and that's it. So yes, I have 3 magnificent children from that, but I sometimes wish I had had a little bit more experience before doing that. And at the time I went into it willingly, with my heart open, with love and all that sort of thing. But, things change over time. Now, because of where I am, I really want to use this time before God calls me to try and travel, branch out, try new things, meet different types of people, anything like that. So that's my resolution. And probably work less, work less hard, which is really hard for me to do because when I go in, I go in. Anyway, that's that. So thanks, Kim. Another question from Devon Christopher. He's also a YouTuber, has an awesome channel. You should go follow him. He's a real kind-hearted sweetheart. If you had to choose $1 million today, like now, or wake up tomorrow, which would you choose? And that's my last question. And I hope I haven't missed any, but which would I choose? $1 million now or to wake up tomorrow? I think I would go wake up tomorrow, because you can always have some money. It doesn't have to be $1 million. Sure, $1 million would make life easier. But then again, these days, $1 million, I can't believe I'm going to say this, it's not all that much. So definitely wake up again tomorrow, and then tomorrow's wish will be to wake up again tomorrow, and then that tomorrow's wish will be to wake up again tomorrow, because praise God, I want to be here for my kids as much as I can, and for my school kids too, because I love them too. So thank you so much, everybody, for submitting your questions. I really do appreciate it. It means so much to me. I love you all to the moon and back. I look forward to reading your comments as always. Take care, everybody. God bless. I'll see you next time. Ciao.